And there's quite a few hyena around. This is a youngster we can see standing up. Well, younger than the larger two that it is next to at the moment. And you can tell this from the color of its coats and also the darkness of its spots. So its spots are very prominent, and it's got quite a light coat and an immaculate coat, you could say. So it's in great condition, and it's a young one. The older two, which look to be like, well, one's certainly one of the mothers. The other one I don't recognize. The closest one to us is one of the mothers. She's got very raggedy ears. She's the mother of one of the two litters of cubs. There's two different litters of cubs within this den. And as fierce as they can be, they can also be loving and caring. And as you can see, this one was gently licking the leg there. I'm not sure if there was a small wound or what it was exactly that it was licking, but it was showing some affection towards this large female.
And I think there's a youngster.
Yeah, and there was a youngster hiding behind that. And it's busy suckling. It appears to have a full belly. This individual. So they obviously had a good night out last night. I always wonder what they get up to every evening. They cover such large distances and live such interesting lives in the way that they acquire their meals. In this area they will rely a lot on stealing from leopard, which is one of the apex predators in the area, and they are numerous and also not very dangerous for the hyena to steal from. The lion poses a much larger threat and a lot more risk when it comes to stealing food. So the hyena within the Sabi Sands have almost specialized in stealing from leopard, and it's uncommon to see them interacting with lion. And it's also important for me to mention that it's not only stealing that the hyena are good at. They are also formidable hunters, and in certain areas of Africa they've actually done research and they found that lion will steal more from hyena than hyena from lion. So there will be reversed roles in certain areas. It was actually on the Juma waterhole camera a few years ago that we managed to document hyena hunting. So they also do hunt in this area, and that's certain. They chased an impala into Vuyatela Dam. There's another hyena that's just slinking off in the background there. It could be the other mother, it looked like, and maybe she spent enough time nursing her cubs and is now heading off to relax. Just to remind everyone, it is a live and interactive safari, so if you would like to ask questions at any stage, please send them through on Twitter with hashtag SafariLive, or on email to questions@wildearth.tv. We really do appreciate your questions and love to answer any of your questions that you may have about what we may be seeing. lifting up their heads and listening, and the reason for that is there's this slight breeze this morning. And this breeze is going to confuse animals like the hyena when it comes to detecting any potential threats that would be approaching the den sites. They can often be hearing just the leaves rustling in the grass, and that could get their attention and just make them double check. So we are noticing them lifting up their heads every now and then and listening, but they are just being fooled by the wind, or not necessarily fooled by the wind, but they have to double check that it isn't actually anything dangerous nearby. They certainly would have heard the lion calling this morning, the same lion that we were looking at, and they'll know that they're nearby. I've actually been checking for any tracks of lion around the den sites, because they did come past fairly close by and will sometimes pop in and try and attack hyena at their den sites when they are passing nearby. It doesn't appear to be the case this morning though, or from last night, as I've seen no tracks left on the earth around this den. Virginia on Twitter, good morning. Virginia is interested to know how the fur of hyenas changes during their life. And it is a really interesting sequence of changes. When they are born, they are little black fur balls, completely black, or you could call it a very dark brown, I guess. But a very dark charcoal brown when they are born. And at 3 months of age, they start to develop spots, so their coat lightens, and it will continue to lighten until it looks like the closest hyena towards us, the one on the bottom left of the shot. And you'll notice how it does have a light coat with dark black splotches. And it's also quite a thick, considerable coat. You can almost see a small mane up its spine onto its neck. So this is when they are at their fluffiest and best looking, I feel, at this age. And if we pan across to one of the adults, you'll notice that their fur does seem to thin considerably. So it's not nearly as fluffy, not nearly as light in color, and the spots become a lot less prominent. There's still, I guess, that mane of fur up along the spine, but the rest of the body has got a very, very thin coat when the adults are fully grown. So great for us to be able to see the difference between a sub-adult and a fully grown adult. What would also be great got up, because then we'd be able to show you the coats at probably around 4.5 months of age. I'm guessing the cub that's suckling is at about that age, 4 to 5 months of age. I just heard some good news on the radio. One of the other vehicles managed to get a brief glimpse of what they thought was Karula, who is a female leopard. She was heading into our property around Buffelshoek Dam, so on our northeastern corner of Djuma. She was heading south and west, so heading back towards us, and sadly it's very thick in that area and he's lost visual of her. But she was heading in the right direction, and again, good prospects for possibly later on this morning or even this afternoon. There's been no other sign of leopard this morning, just to keep you all updated. Even though Quinuma and Quarantine, two brothers, were very close to our camp last night, where Mark found them, I haven't heard any updates on the radio of anyone having any luck with fresh tracks of them. Well, I'm glad we popped into the hyena den site to check on how they were doing. But just like the lion, they seem to be very, very relaxed. And I think we should head off and search for something that may be a little bit more active and entertaining for us. But we certainly are being spoiled this morning with some great quality sightings of, so far, two of the top carnivores in this area, the lion and the hyena. Oh, here we go. This is what we wanted. Oh, her belly is full. They had a great meal last night. Wouldn't it be interesting to know what they fed on? And look at that cub now. Incredible to believe that just a few months ago it was pitch black. Oh, and it looks like they are taking the stance here and they are deciding to leave as opposed to us deciding to leave. Reposition slightly so we can make the most of the last glimpses we have of them. But it could be now that the adults are wanting to move off and get a little bit of peace and quiet now that they've fed their cubs. And this is common behavior to witness. The adults will come back, nurse the cubs, and then head off for as long as they need a break for. Because if they stayed at the den, the cubs would permanently pester them for food and play. Oh. Looks like a bit of hierarchy being installed here. That youngster's acting very submissively to the two adults, and you can see they're certainly making it feel a little bit uneasy. And this is common within a hierarchical clan of hyena like this. They will constantly be reinforcing status between the different members of the clans, and the tricky thing for us is that it's very difficult to distinguish between male and female hyenas. So now I'm wondering if these two are both males, the two that are head-to-head now on the left of the screen. One is certainly a mother, we know that because she's just been suckling her cubs, but the two adults we can see now could possibly be males, and maybe the bigger of the two is the dominant male. Let's watch closely here what they're up to. Well, they seem to have diffused and all seems calm now, and it's very often the case. As long as the younger or smaller, less dominant animal acts submissively, and to act submissively means just basically to accept that you're weaker and lower yourself to the ground and act as unconfrontational as possible, the other members will respect that submissive behavior and therefore not attack or hurt the other animal. they do like to just be shown and reminded that they are lesser than the alpha members. Brenda in Pennsylvania is interested to know why the younger hyena is with the other two large adults, and it's not uncommon for various members of hyena to be, or various ages of hyena to be within the same clan. There'll be various generations that grow up together in their clan or family, and therefore you can expect to get a variety of ages. Just like a pride of lion, it's not just one male and one female that will go off and pair and raise their cubs. It's a whole family, extended family, and that will be a youngster from a previous litter. I think it could be a male, but like I said, it's very difficult to distinguish the sexes of these animals. Oh well, they have headed off. Not very far, but it's very thick where they're lying up now to our left, and they are continuing to go further away. So we will leave them to it.